Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Today, we're going to be breaking down yesterday's 8-game slate. It was a fairly choppy one. We had we had a 2-game slate in the early and a 6-game slate in the main. Was a very nice night for us here in the DFS Sweatshop. I thought I did well, doubling my buy-in on the early slate, making a few in the main across all sites, but we got some cats in our sweatshop really getting it in. And tonight, we are full of reasons to celebrate with a strong drink. Very eventful weekend for me. This was my wife's 28th birthday. She spent that with some of her homegirls. They went out and did some ratchet things together down in Savannah. They went to Savannah, Georgia. They had a big St. Patty's Day thing down there. Had a really great time while I sat at home being the stay-at-home dad. With all the little girls playing, doing hair, playing makeup, playing dress up, all of those great things that dads get to do. And so in honor of my wife returning from her trip and also all of the success that we've had here in the sweatshop tonight, I'm talking about DeAndre Rawlings. I'm talking about Mike Albee. I'm talking about the big homie Soda Popinski off the Twitter, man. There's so much success. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show my wife a great time. I'm on the pipe hardener, the old hen dog. So as soon as the show concludes, I'm going to go back and have a little conversation with the wife. So I hope you really enjoy tonight's show. I know you enjoyed today's slate if you were a DFS Sweatshop member throughout this player pool. Now, a lot of times when it comes to the larger slates, from 6 all the way up to the largest they get, I love to issue out core 4s. But on 5-game slates or less, I like to stack. And I issue out my overall player pool. Hey, this is every guy that is on my list. And it was a really great one. A really good player pool went out today. And just a lot of awesome showings in the sweatshop as a whole. So we are looking forward to running through this next week coming up. This was not a profitable week for me on the whole, but I did recoup a lot that I lost over the week, so we're looking forward to rolling into this next week. We got a really fun slate of games all throughout the week. We're going to start, I think, today. We've got 7 games on the slate for today. Then we're going to be jumping into, after that 7, we got 8-game slate. I love those. Then we've got on Tuesday another 8-game slate. Wednesday 8-game slate. Thursday 5 games. Friday we're up to 10 games. And Saturday, we've got 5 games that are starting at 3:30. So we've got a really jam-packed slate, jam-packed week of NBA slates, and I'm looking forward to it. I am raring to go. Had to refine my process, get back to the basics, do what got me here. And I took that same ideology into the DFS Sweatshop over on the in the Facebook VIP, and I was really able to get some solid results. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the regular formatting of the show. Of course, like I already stated, I did not issue out a core 4, but I did have an overall player pool that will be available to you if you are a premium subscriber to the DFSSweatshop.com. You can find that every day. This is called my GPPs, the Jerusalem's picks. The GPPs. You're going to see those if you are a premium member of the site. It's actually the Jerusalem's player pool, or the GPP. Nice play on word. So you're going to see that every day once you subscribe to the website. You can go to www.dfssweatshop.com. That's where you can get those. Also, my core 4. And you're also going to get the cheat sheets, the DVPs, the rankings, everything that we have to offer, man. It's a ton of great shit, man. Ton of great shit. And it's only going to be getting better as we roll into baseball season. So let's go ahead and jump into the feature 4 plays of the night. These are the 4 most talked about, tweeted about guys in the DFS Sweatshop, in the Facebook VIP, and as well as on Twitter. We're going to start with the Who Dat, scoring all the points over there player tonight. This is a guy that was in my early player pool. I liked him a lot. We only had a 2-game slate. There were 4 teams available. I scoured around and I found this guy. He was 8% owned. 3.8K was the price on him. 35.25 DraftKings points is what he brought back. We are talking about JJ Barea. Excellent game from him. In the beginning of the game, we thought that we were going to see Yogi Ferrell have a great game. And I didn't really roster Yogi Ferrell in too many spots. And I was like, damn, how did I miss on that? The narrative was there, blah, blah, blah. But I just in the projections that I set, I have to deal with the end result. I can't go back and tweak and mess with it because it's a system. I set it in place the way it is. That's the way it's got to be. So JJ Barea was the guy that kept popping up in my personal models. So I went ahead and grabbed him, and he had a really solid night out. Next guy we're talking about is the how did I miss that play tonight? This is a guy who I did not have him anywhere. Believe it or not. I ran 10 lineups in the main, did not have one share of this dude, man. And he went out and had a fucking monster game. I'm talking about at 10% ownership. The price was 8.7K, so you were getting a good deal on him. And I've been talking about this dude having a Dame game all year long, and I missed the fucking Dame game. At the end of the season, I missed the Dame game. 62.75 DraftKings points. He did lead all DraftKings scorer in point tonight. Awesome game there for the how did I miss that play tonight. Talking about Mr. Dame Lillard. The next play we're going to talk about is the heat check play tonight. Now, this does not have to go to the guy that scored the most points. It does have to go to the guy that was the highest salary, as you can see with the how did I miss that play. But D'Lo, in a losing effort against the Cleveland Cavaliers, this dude went out and at 5.5K, 11% owned, scored 58.5 DraftKings points, 10x on him, had an awesome game, a wonderful showing from D'Angelo Russell, and that's why you, D'Lo, salute. You are tonight's heat check player tonight. Shout out, big game for old D loading. Very nice game there. Now, we must talk about that one motherfucker. This one motherfucker ruined what could have been a super solid early slate for me. Just went out and did not perform very well at all. And you know, there's not too much I can say about this guy for the simple fact that, no, fuck that. I ain't pulling no punches. I'm feeling good. About to go lay the pipe down. So I'm going to tell it like it is. Tell it, everybody use a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass. How the fuck you go out at 6.3K on a 2-game slate? You're 41% owned. And you bring back 21.75 DraftKings points. Man, that ain't shit. And you ain't shit for doing that. The best player on your team, theoretically, is not there. You're supposed to step in immediately and pick up some of that load. And what did you do? You shit yourself and fucked up all the lineups. 41% of people had you. You fucked it all up. And that's why tonight, you a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass, and I ain't gonna roster your bitch ass again. Till Isaiah come back. Your price go down a little bit, right about 5.5. You're in a solid matchup for shooting guards. I got you. I'll take a shot on you again. But tonight, you's a motherfucking snowflake. Let's get on with the rest of the motherfucking show. Now, what I like to do at this point in the show is go ahead and break down my very best DraftKings lineup. And I do this for a couple of reasons, man. Number one, I want you to know the guys I'm talking about are the guys I'm playing. I'm not like those other motherfuckers or those 150 lineup motherfuckers who say, I like this guy, I like this guy, I like this guy. Of course you like everybody, motherfucker. You got 150 lineups. Of course you like everybody. Everybody's in play to a tournament player like that, right? So my player pool is very short, it's very tight, and either I hit or I don't. That's just who I am. I don't play cash games. The closest you're ever going to see me to a cash game is my single entries. I love those tournaments. If you are a sweat shopper, keep your ass in them single entries. Take advantage of the turbos, the lates, and the short slates. Definitely do that. But let's go ahead and jump into my very best DraftKings lineup. Now, today I had two different stacks in mind. I had a Miami stack that I really wanted to take advantage of without Hassan Whiteside. Also, I had the Minnesota stack that I really wanted to take advantage of without Karl Anthony Towns. I thought the guys on the fringe of those high dollar players on both of those teams would be the guys that would see the most bang for your buck, for lack of a better term. So Ricky Rubio started off this lineup. He was fairly priced. He was at 7.4, 7.6, something like that. Went out, scored 37.75 DraftKings points. It did not kill me. We had Andrew Wiggins, who I paired with Ricky Rubio. I love the James Johnson and Goran Dragic stack there. We also had Gorgui Dieng in that lineup. So I went 3 deep on the Minnesota side without Karl Anthony Towns. Then I had 2 with the James Johnson and Goran Dragic pick. Dragic did not perform the way I expected him to, but James Johnson had a monster, and he made up for whatever deficiency that you find here in Goran Dragic. I liked Garrett Temple all day. Once we found out who all were going to be rested at a certain point, I felt better about rostering him. D'Angelo Russell was a play that I was on. If you remember the Sunday show, I was like, yo, I'm playing D'Lo. 5.5K. Dude just got benched. He's a young, cocky kid, doesn't want to lose his spot, wants to go out and show, hey, I'm a fucking beast. That's exactly what he did. That's why he's the heat check play tonight. He went out, had 58.5 DraftKings points. To round it out, we had a little DeMar DeRozan. I was 100% DeMar DeRozan and still had some very solid showing. So if DeMar DeRozan really comes to play, man, this could have been a magical night for me. But you live and you learn. You continue to play. This lineup finished with 292 DraftKings points, a very solid showing. Had it in a few spots, and I was very pleased with some of those performances. Now let's go ahead and jump into the recap of last night's games. We're going to start with it early because you've got to know where you've been if you really want to have a good read on where you're going. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that recap of last night's games. Let's go ahead and get that going. Okay, here we are. Now, we are going to start. We're going to start with the very first game on yesterday's slate. It was an early game, started at about 12 o'clock. And it was a pretty decent game, man. It was the Dallas Mavericks going to Brooklyn to take on the Nets. I got to watch this game in its entirety as I just lounged around the house, checking on my golf game, checking on my NASCAR, getting those things together because we play all DFS. And trust me, some of these sports I never even played, but there's so many cats in the sweatshop that are knowledgeable, man. They put me onto a ton of great shit, so that's why it's so important to be in there. But let's go ahead and start on the Dallas side. Wesley Matthews in 36 minutes had 15 and 5 to go with 3 assists and 1 steal. Pretty decent game for him at that price point. We saw Harrison Barnes for 35 minutes. He had 19 and 6 to go with 2 assists. And there was a point in the game where you really thought Harrison Barnes was about to take over. But it never really came out to fruition. Did not do enough rebounding, enough defensive stats to really separate himself from a lot of other people. Dirk Nowitzki had a very solid game, 23 and 9 in 27 minutes. We saw Lil Brown, Steph Curry, snowflake the fuck out. In 30 minutes, he had 8 and 1 to go with 1 assist. Not a great game there. Yogi Ferrell, man, he started off very hot. I think he had like 19 points in the first quarter, man. He finished with 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists to go with 3 steals and 1 block. Pretty decent game, but I know you really expected a bigger one from him once you got a taste of that first quarter from him. JJ Barea was my man. He came off of the bench and in 26 minutes had 20 and 1 to go with 7 assists and 2 steals. Very nice game there. We saw Devin Harris for 16 minutes. He had 11 and 2 to go with 1 assist and 1 steal. On the Brooklyn Nets side, Jeremy Lin went down early in this game. And because of that, we saw the minutes just being spread all over the Brooklyn Nets backcourt. And I'm telling you, the biggest beneficiary was Spencer Dinwiddie. In 30 minutes, he had 18 and 2 to go with 7 assists and 1 steal. We even saw Isaiah Whitehead for 23 minutes. He had 10 points, 2 boards, and 2 assists. And when Lin went down, KJ McDaniels jumped off of the bench. It was the first guy in the game. And in 15 minutes, he had 8 and 1 to go with 1 assist. Not a great game there for him. We saw Randy Foye for 27 minutes. He had 11 and 6 to go with 2 assists and 1 steal. And Brook Lopez in 33 minutes had 27 and 7 while shooting 44% from the field, hit 3 of 6 3-point shots and 8 of 10 free throws. Rondé Hollis Jefferson in 30 minutes had 6 and 9 to go with the block. And Karis LeVert struggled with foul trouble early in the game. Only got 25 minutes in, but he did have 5 points, 5 boards, and 1 assist. Next game I'm going to talk about was the second game on that early slate. It is the Philadelphia 76ers defending home court against the Boston Celtics without Isaiah Thomas. We're going to start on the Boston side with Jay Crowder. Like I continue to explain to you, the biggest beneficiary from Isaiah Thomas not being on the court is Jay Crowder. You think it's going to be Marcus Smart. You think it's going to be Avery Bradley, but that is not a fact. As I predicted, Jay Crowder has been the biggest beneficiary. He played 35 minutes, 15 and 7 with 4 assists and 1 steal. Now this guy shot 3 of 13 from the field for 23%. If he has a better shooting game, a better field goal percentage, he has pretty much a monster game. We saw a little bit of Amir Johnson in 22 minutes. He had 2 and 1 to go with 4 assists and 1 steal. Very big game from Al Horford, man. In 33 minutes, he had 27, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks while shooting 68% from the field. Also hit 1 of 2 3-point shots, hit 4 or 5 free throws. Very solid game there. Marcus Smart didn't do one thing particularly well. Just did a lot of stuff pretty good. In 35 minutes, he had 8 and 6 to go with 8 assists and 2 steals. Also, we saw Jaylen Brown for 12 minutes. He had 2 and 2. Not a great game for him. And Terry Rozier, man. Now, this was a hot topic of debate in the sweatshop, man. We are always chopping it up. And the big homie Phil, man, Phil Porfido, the other day, he was totally on Terry Rozier. He was like, yo, this guy, I got a feeling you got to give me your lineups. And a lot of times as DFS players, man, we are so in tuned to the game that we can overshoot the mark. It's kind of like when you're at the bar, you're chilling, and the chick kind of likes you, and you're like, oh shit, all right, cool. So you kicking it with her, and you buying her drinks, and you getting it in, and you're like, yo, I'm probably gonna take her home. Like, this going down tonight. And the club's out, so you leave, and you're like, yo, you gonna ride with your homegirls, you gonna ride with me? She's like, all right, well, cool, whatever. So you might light up a J or drink something or whatever. And by the time you get to the crib, she's passed out. So you gotta take her home. You can't do that. That's wrong. It's kind of like overshooting the mark. And that's what we did in a sweatshop the other day with Terry Rozier. We were a day early to the party, man. And this dude had an awesome game. In 25 minutes, he had 14 and 10 to go 2 assists and 1 steal while shooting 33% from the field. Also hit 2 of 7 3-point shots and hit 4 of 4 free throws. Very solid game there. We saw Kelly Olynyk for 11 minutes. He had 12 and 1 to go with 1 assist. Not a great game from him in those limited minutes off of the bench. On the Philadelphia side, a very solid game we saw from Dario Saric. In 32 minutes, he had 23, 6, 4 assists, and 2 steals while shooting 50% from the field, hit 2 of 4 3-point shots, hit 1 free throw of the one that he did take. Pretty solid game there. Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot had a really nice game in 29 minutes. He had 13 and 2 to go with 1 assist. At that price point, that's okay. You can deal with that. We saw a nice game from Richaun Holmes off of the bench, man. He didn't do like one thing great. He did a bunch of shit pretty good. He had 8 points, 7 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks while shooting 66% from the field. I don't know why he took a 3-point shot. He missed it, but that was a very solid game there. The same game was for Sauce. Nick Stauskas had the same game. In 29 minutes, he had 9 and 6 to go with 4 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks while shooting 42% from the field. TJ McConnell had a decent game as well. 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists with 1 steal. This was a complete team effort from the Philadelphia 76ers side, and that is why they beat the Boston Celtics quite handily, actually. Next game we're going to talk about is the Detroit Pistons at home facing the Phoenix Suns. Very solid game we saw from a lot of the Phoenix guys. Now, a lot of these guys on the Phoenix side were forced to play big minutes. They've had so many injuries. We got Barbosa, illness. Bledsoe, coach's decision. Chandler, coach's decision. Brandon Knight, coach's decision. Ronnie Price, coach's decision. We didn't see Devin Booker. We found that out after lineups locked. So, they were very short-handed coming in, and you really felt like, damn, I didn't get enough Phoenix Suns in my lineup because all of them going to play 30-some-odd minutes. Well, that may have been the case, but not everybody played very well. T.J. Warren, he had 44 minutes of play on the night and 15 points, 6 boards, 1 assist, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Not a great game. In 44 minutes, you want T.J. Warren to do more for you than that. He shot 6 of 16 from the field for 37%, hit 1 of 2 3-point shots, and 2 of 3 free throws. Marquise Chris, in 26 minutes, had 16 and 7 with 1 steal. Solid game there. Alex Len, 11 and 7 with 1 assist. Decent for that price. And we saw Tyler Ulis, man, another great game for him, man. He played 43 minutes, had 17 points, 3 boards, and 11 assists to go with 3 steals while shooting 29% from the field. Dude shot 7 for 24 from the field. That is crazy. You do shit like that when you know nobody can take your spot. When you know you are the only healthy point guard on the team, you can shoot the ball 24 fucking times and only hit 7 of them and still be good. Horrible shooting game. Horrible shooting. We saw Allen Williams for 26 minutes. He had 11 and 2 to go with 2 assists and 2 steals. Also blocked the shot while shooting 36% from the field. And this was a bad shooting game for the Phoenix Suns, man. And that is why the Detroit Pistons whipped their ass. On the Detroit Pistons side, I had a feeling about KCP, man. And in 33 minutes, he had 23 points, 3 boards, 8 assists, shot 8 for 14 from the field, hit 5 of 9 3-point shots. And you're going to have these kind of games from KCP. You just got to catch them. And one thing I know about him is he'll have 2 good games back to back. So I'm definitely going to give him a look no matter who they play the next time out. I wish they played the Hornets the next time. That would have been great. Andre Drummond, man, big double-double, 18 and 18 in 28 minutes. He had 2 assists, 2 blocks while shooting 70% from the field, hit 4 of 11 free throws. This dude cannot shoot fucking free throws, and it is a killer, bro. That's why it's so hard for me to roster him on a regular main slate. Markieff Morris in 36 minutes had 16 and 5 to go with 3 assists while shooting 66% from the field. And Tobias Harris in that redone starting role, 33 minutes, he had 8 points and 4 boards. John Lure in 24 minutes had 10 and 7. And Aaron Baines, man, he went ham off the fucking bench. We didn't see a ton of minutes for Drummond. Baines got 17 of those minutes. He had 13 and 17 rebounds. really solid game. So if Drummond can get 18 rebounds and Baines can get 17 rebounds, doesn't that tell you how bad the Phoenix Suns were shooting the ball? Horrible shooting game for all or most of the Suns. Next game I'm going to talk about is the New Orleans Pelicans beating the crap out of the Minnesota Timberwolves. This was not a very great game to watch, man. Very sloppy, a lot of missed shots, but we're going to talk about it. Andrew Wiggins in 36 minutes had 25 and 2 to go with 2 assists and 2 steals. He shot 10 of 19 from the field for 52%. Pretty solid game there. Gorgie Jang was 1 point shy of that double-double bonus. We need that, bro. We play on DraftKings. 9 and 10 to go with 1 assist, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Pretty solid game there. We saw a nice one from Rick Rubio. Could have been much better if he would have gotten a few more rebounds, but he had 10 points, 3 boards, and 14 assists to go with 1 steal. Finally, Shabazz Muhammad, showed that, okay, Bjelica is gone. I'm the next guy in line. He had 20 points, 6 boards, 1 assist, and 1 steal. And we saw Brandon Rush for 38 minutes. He had 6 and 3 with 3 assists and 1 steal. Karl-Anthony Towns, 33 points, did not rebound the ball very well. Only had 6 of them, but he did have 2 assists and 1 steal. And what do you expect playing against Boogie and AD? He was not able to really crash the boards and make his presence felt on the defensive side of the ball. On the New Orleans Pelicans side, another nice game for Solomon Hill. 34 minutes, he had 13 and 5 with 5 assists and 3 steals. We saw a semi-decent game from Anthony Davis, 28 and 12 to go with 3 assists while shooting 68% from the field. And DeMarcus Cousins in 31 minutes had 15 and 11 to go with 4 assists, 3 steals while shooting 50% from the field. Not a great game there. Probably the best play in this game was either Solomon Hill or Drew Holiday. 35 minutes, Holiday had 21 and 3 with 7 assists and 1 steal. We saw a nice one off of the bench for Jordan Crawford. In 22 minutes, he had 22 points and 2 rebounds. Pretty good scoring at that price point. And E'Twaun Moore in 28 minutes had 14 and 3 to go with 3 assists. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Toronto Raptors beating the shit out of the Pacers, man. There was a ton of blowouts tonight, man. There was quite a few blowouts tonight. And I was on Jeff Teague all day long. I really liked him as a player. And he went out and had a decent game, but it's not an excellent fantasy game. In 27 minutes, he had 16 and 2 to go with 7 assists and 1 steal. He only shot 36% from the field. That's what really did it, man. Monte Ellis in 25 minutes had 10 and 1 to go with 3 assists and 2 steals. And Paul George went back to this person that he was a few months ago. He had a horrible game. 18 and 4 to go with 2 assists and 1 steal in 31 minutes. We saw Thaddeus Young get back to playing pretty well. He had 16 points and 4 rebounds with 1 assist and 1 steal. Pretty solid game there. But how about Miles Turner? That dude snowflaked the fuck out. In 28 minutes, Miles Turner had 3 points, 5 boards, and 3 assists. Horrible game there we saw from Miles Turner. On the Toronto Raptors side, DeMar DeRozan snowflaked out on me a little bit. In 29 minutes, he had 22 points, 3 boards, and 4 assists. Not a great game there. Corey Joseph had a nice one, 11 and 4 to go with 9 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. We saw a pretty solid game from Jonas Valanciunas, man. 11 and 13 to go with a block. He only played 23 minutes, could have played a lot more, but they were winning the game, so they didn't really need him too much. Serge Ibaka came out of nowhere and scored 16 and 5 to go with 1 block. Not a great game, but we could take that from him. And DeMar Carroll was a very solid play. Very cheaply priced. He had 12 points, 6 boards, and 2 assists, and also blocked 1 shot. Norman Powell off of the bench in 13 minutes had 11 and 3 to go with 1 assist. And we saw Pirtle for 23 minutes. He had 12 points, 7 boards, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Pretty solid game there for him. Next game we're talking about is the Portland Trail Blazers visiting the Miami Heat. These teams are playing for playoff positioning. And we've got to keep in mind that going down the stretch, point guard play, because protecting the ball and scoring the ball as a point guard, distributing the ball as a point guard is going to be paramount important for most teams that are in the playoff race. So when you find good point guards that are moderately priced, that need to win and need to take control and command of the team, this is the time when you want to roster those guys heading into the playoffs. This last 15 or 12 to 15 games is really going to see some really great point guard play, and I think tonight kind of kicked that off with a few of the point guard plays that we did see. Let's go ahead and start on the Portland Trailblazers side, where Noah Vonleh had his second decent game in a row. In 28 minutes, he had 11 and 7 with 1 assist and 1 steal. Yusuf Nurkic, another nice one. In 29 minutes, he had 21 points, 12 boards, also blocked 3 shots. You saw a monster scoring game from Dame Lillard. In 36 minutes, he had 49 points, 1 rebound, and 5 assists. Also blocked a shot. Pretty solid game there. We also saw C.J. McCollum. Didn't have a bad basketball game, but it's not a great fantasy scoring game. In 36 minutes, he had 18 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, and 1 steal. Mo Harkless, in his 29 minutes, had 2 points, 5 boards, and 1 assist to go with 2 blocks. Not a great game there. Alan Crabb off of the bench, 5 and 5 to go with 1 steal. And not a great game we saw from Al-Farouq Aminu at all, man. In 23 minutes, he had 3 points and 5 boards. Only took 1 shot and hit that 1 shot, but not a great game there for him at all. On the Miami Heat side, Whiteside got rolling, man. He got rolling pretty good pretty early, but he just couldn't keep it up, man. In 30 minutes, he had 17 and 10 to go with 2 assists and 3 blocks. And, stepping in for Dion Waiters, we saw some Rodney Magruder and a little bit of Josh Richardson in that wing spot. Richardson in 32 minutes had 10 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Magruder in 19 minutes had 6 and 4 to go with 2 assists. Not a great game there. Luke Babbitt is still stealing minutes, had 17, had 3 points, 3 boards, and 1 assist. And we saw Goran Dragic for 38 minutes. He had 17 and 4 to go with 3 assists and 3 steals. Probably the best game, the best guy, the guy that had the best game easily was James Johnson, man. In 30 minutes, he had 24 and 7 to go with 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. We also saw Tyler Johnson for 30 minutes. He had 14 and 3 with 3 assists and 1 steal. Pretty solid game there for him. Next game we're talking about is the San Antonio Spurs at home, defending the home turf against the Sacramento Kings. Now, these teams played a couple weeks ago, man, and Sacramento was like giving it to them. And they came back from like a 28-point lead and beat them. So I'm sure the Sacramento guys wanted to play well in this game. It didn't blow out until a little bit later in the game, but it still was a blowout nonetheless. On the Sacramento side, Garrett Temple 15 and 1 to go with 4 assists. Solid game at that price point. Willie Cauley-Stein 18 and 4 to go with 5 assists. Also had a block shot. Pretty nice at that price point. And all these guys are so cheap. Buddy Hield in 32 minutes had 18 and 5 to go with 5 assists and 1 steal. We saw Greg Papagiannis for 24 minutes. He had 6 points and 10 rebounds. Also had a steal and 1 block shot. Didn't see much else from anybody else off of the team, man. This is a bad Sacramento team right now. The San Antonio Spurs, their studs didn't have to play very much, man. Kawhi Leonard only got 26 minutes. He had 12 points, 2 boards, 3 assists, and 2 steals while shooting 25% from the field. 3 of 12 shots. Not good there. LaMarcus Aldridge, 18 and 8 in his 21 minutes. Also had a steal and a block. We saw a nice game from Tony Parker in his return. In 20 minutes, he had 16 and 3 to go with 7 assists. Also shot 80% from the field, going 8 of 10. That was a very solid game there. We saw a nice one from Paul Gasol off of the bench in 20 minutes. He had 22 and 9 to go with 2 steals. And David Lee had 11, 7, and 3 assists while shooting 57% from the field. Pretty solid game there for him. The last game on the slate and the late night hammer game was in fact a late night hammer, bro. You had some guys, if you were smart enough to just take a shot on, the ownership being sort of low on the Cleveland guys and maybe just throw the big 3 in there with D'Angelo Russell and get a couple of fringe guys to fill out your roster, the other 4 spots, you probably were very close to the money because LeBron James in 37 minutes had 34 points, 6 boards, 7 assists, and 1 steal. Kevin Love had a big double-double in 25 minutes. He was still limited, so to speak. In 25 minutes, he had 21 points, 15 boards, shot 40% from the field, hit 3 of 7 3-point shots. Very good game there. Tristan Thompson left the game with an injury to his mouth. Julius Randle with a handle went up and tried to lay it in and came down and cracked him in the face with his elbow. I think he kind of split his shit and fucked him up a little bit. But Kyrie Irving in 37 minutes had 46 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. That's what I'm talking about with the point guard play picking up around playoff time. That's what I'm talking about. They're going to pick up play. There are some point guards that are scoring. There's some that are really good distributors. You're going to see the best in those guys' games comes out as closer we get to the playoff scenarios. So on the LA Lakers side, Brandon Ingram had a nice game. He played 40 minutes, had 18 and 60 with 1 assist. We saw Julius Randle for 37 minutes. He had 10 and 7 to go with 7 assists. That was a good basketball game, just not a great fantasy basketball game. D'Angelo Russell, the Heat check player tonight, dropped 40 points. Also had 2 rebounds and 6 assists to go with 2 steals. Very solid game there. And Jordan Clarkson in 41 minutes had 19 and 3 to go with 6 assists while shooting 44% from the field. Ivica Zubac got the start in this game. He played 19 minutes, had 10 and 6 to go with 2 assists and a block. Not a great game there. Didn't see much else from the LA Lakers off of the bench. Now, that we recapped last night's games, let's go ahead and jump into a very quick player pricing. That is so that we can take a look at the slate and decide right now if we want to roster cats, if we want you or not. We're gonna go ahead and make that list right now. And usually our first look is our very best look before we go in and then we do a little more analyzing so that we can extract our core 4 plays or however we want to do it. So let's go ahead and check it out. Let's go ahead and lock into the player pricing. Now, the first thing I want you to do is take notice to the slate, the way it breaks down. We went ahead and opened up the NBA here on the DraftKings apps. Tomorrow's the 20th. Today's the 20th. Excuse me. We've got 7 games total. There's going to be three-game turbo at 7:30. Also a 3-game late. I want you to invest and examine in these turbos. The 3-game turbos. Take a look at them. Look at the games. See if they're games that you like. Look at the 3-game late. Check them out. See if they're games you like. And if they are, go ahead and build some lineups in there and throw them bitches in the main. This could be a slate where the highest score in the turbo or the highest score in the late, your highest score in these 2 tournaments, cash like a mug in here. Because if you think about it, these are going to have smaller condensed player pools. Guys that go off are going to have a really good chance of making it into your overall rosters. The more games, the less chance that happens. So, I mean, it also increases your dud percentage, but we're smart. We're not rocking with no duds, man. So make you some shit in here. Make you something in here. Throw them bitches in the main. Throw them bitches in the main, baby. I'm telling you. It's going to work. It's been working. It's a very concrete strategy. Let's get it done. Let's just get it done. Throw them bitches in the main, man. Throw it in the main. Now, the first thing you can see is it is one of those slates. Tonight is one of those slates. Now, check it out. First thing on deck we got Russell Westbrook at home against the Golden State Warriors. Now, they don't have KD, but the motivation is still going to be there for him to ball out. 13.3K, that's a very high price point on him. If it was a 10-game slate, I could see completely fading him. If you are a multi-entry, not a max entry, fuck you, max entry, and you got to show, because that means you're telling us bullshit so you can max enter around what you're telling us. But if you are a multi-entry cat like me and a lot of the cats in the sweatshop, I'm telling you, you cannot fade Russell Westbrook completely. The dude can go slam off in this matchup. They're at home. He's a guy that plays with that chip on his shoulder. That is definitely someone to watch. The next guy we're talking about, James Harden. Now, this game was just played in Denver. The game now being played in Houston does not mean too much for me. I think it's going to be even. It's going to be a different game, and it's even going to be a better game if we do see, Danilo Gallinari as well as Wilson Chandler back. 12.7K. I really think you can go with one of these guys in every lineup. I think I'm going to split. Right now, just looking at this, I'm going to have Westbrook lines. I'm going to be 50-50, Westbrook and Harden. I'm going to play these guys. I'm just going to play them. Now, next guy we're talking about, Nikola Jokic. The price is down on just a little bit. I think he's in a very solid spot. I like that. We've got John Wall at 9.6 going to Boston. That's very doable, something that you can take advantage of as well. Steph Curry at 9.4. That's a play that I think we can take advantage of. I think he's going to want to have a very solid game going into Oklahoma City. And I think the game stays a little bit closer than it would if the game played at Golden State. I think they did blow them out the last time they played them at the Oracle. So I think at Oklahoma City, without Kevin Durant, Steph Curry is definitely playable. Now, the price is up a little bit on Chris Paul, 8.4. I don't think you're going to need a ton of Chris Paul to beat the Knicks, my New York Knicks at home. So I'm not going to be rocking with Chris Paul too tough tomorrow. Kevin Durant is out. Isaiah Thomas, he is questionable at this point. There's a good chance that Isaiah Thomas does play. So we need to keep an eye on that throughout the day. Carmelo Anthony at 8.2. If we don't see Chris Stapps, give me some Melo. I kind of like him. He should be playing for this team anyway. I'm a Carmelo Anthony fan. I would much rather see him in LA than New York. I want him to win a championship before it's all said and done. Give me some Blake Griffin. I love him in this spot at 8.1. See, I don't like Chris Paul as much, so I don't like DeAndre Jordan as much. I think Blake Griffin is the guy that I really want to look at 8.1K in this matchup against my New York Knicks. Paul George is a no for me going up against the Utah Jazz, even though the game is in Indiana. I don't like that too much. I really don't. Draymond Green, he's definitely in play. At 7.9, he's definitely in play. I don't like him. Kemba Walker, bro, cheap as shit at home against the Atlanta Hawks, who are horrible against shooting, against the point guard. They're 23rd ranked DVP, but I think they're even worse than that, bro. I love Kemba tomorrow. He is one of my favorite plays on the slate. Just looking at it right now, I love him. Dario Saric, same feeling I get from him at 7.8. I like that. I even like Nikola Vucevic at 7.7. Bradley Beal, the price is down on just a little bit. And see, this is what we talked about a lot in the sweatshop. Now, because you see this negative ranked DVP, and he's going to be excuse me, Bradley Beal, and he's going to be facing Avery Bradley. You're kind of down, right? But if Marcus Smart is probably going to be matched up with John Wall, who's kind of a more physical, rougher, tougher guy to be guarding him, or maybe Bradley guards Wall, and then you see Smart on Bradley Beal. This guy to me is stud level. He's stud level talent just because he can flat out shoot the rock. And eighth ranked DVP priced to 7.6. This dude could go to fuck off. So sometimes rostering a stud type guy in a bad situation can create that separation you need. And on a 7-game slate, if you get a guy that's 10% owned that goes off, no matter what position they play, no matter where they are, 10% owned or less and they go off, it can really set you apart from the field. So Elfrid Payton at 7.5, that price is up just a touch, but the game is in Orlando. I don't have an issue with that. Millsap's going to be out, so that means the chalk for the day is going to be Ersan Ilyasova if he does start again for Paul Millsap. Will Barton at 7.3, that price is up. I'm not paying for Will Barton above 7K. I'm not. I'm completely not playing him at all. And if he goes out and scores 50 DraftKings points, so be it. I'm not playing him. I have standards. Klay Thompson, I think he can be a solid player at 7.2. They're going to need him. Matched up against Vic Oladipo, that is a tough matchup, but this is a guy that can shoot the lights out. You look for him. Rudy Gobert is going to destroy Miles Turner tomorrow at 7.2K. I like that. Schroeder is a no for me. Teams just don't play very well against the Charlotte Hornets in the Beehive at the point guard spot. I don't really like him. Dwight Howard is in play at 7K. You can attack the Charlotte Hornets rebounding the basketball fairly easily. Kristaps, it says he's questionable. I hope he doesn't play because I want to play Melo tomorrow. At 7K, if he does play, I'm not fucking with him. Just came back off an injury. I like Al Horford again at 6.9K. The price is up just a touch on him, but I still think he's a very solid play. Gordon Hayward, not a play that I'm particularly interested in tomorrow. DeAndre Jordan, yes, at 6.9. Give me some of that. Robert Covington, 6.8. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that. The price is down on Nick Batum. This is smelling like a Hornet stack. I kind of like this. I like this already. Yeah, give me some Nick Batum. Give me some of that. I should go to this game tomorrow. I should go. Mason Plumlee at 6.6. Could be a solid play. Yeah. He was a great play the other night. I don't see why not. Avery Bradley, 6.5 is a no for me. I don't want any of that. Marvin Williams at still 6.5. He's playing well and outscoring this salary, but the salary is not moving. It's been this way for the last few slates. And as soon as I jump on the bandwagon, he's gonna snowflake, and I'm not fucking with him tomorrow. Marcus Smart is up to 6.4. None of that. I'm good on him. Otto Porter. I like Otto Porter at 6.4. Now, he's going to be matched up a little bit with Jay Crowder, but I still think we can take advantage of that. But if Jay Crowder is cheaper, I'd rather have him. Vic Oladipo at 6.4. That price is kind of up a little bit. I don't know if I wanted to invest in that. Wilson Chandler, 6.3. If he is good to go, I like him. Willie Hernangomez, 6.2. Not a player that I'm particularly interested in. Jay Crowder at 6.1. I like him as well. Markieff Morris, that is probably where we could attack the Boston Celtics rebound in the basketball if he does play. If Jason Smith gets another start, and he's still priced around 3-4K, we can definitely hop on that. Gary Harris at 6.1 is a solid play. He was a solid play the other night. I don't see why things would change. I do like Derrick Rose at 6.1. For some reason, I got a feeling Derrick Rose can be in play. Now, this is if Kristaps is not playing. If Kristaps is not playing, I like Derrick Rose. Gallinari, he should play tomorrow at 6K. He's usually pretty good coming back off an injury. He's like the franchise, and if they're not going to let him play at all unless he's good to go. So if he plays, I kind of like him. George Hill, 6K matched up against Jeff Teague. Give me some of that. I believe George Hill is returning to Indiana, so there is a bit of a revenge narrative here. I kind of like George Hill tomorrow. The price is really right on him. Then we got Jeff Teague at 5.9, who I think we can take advantage of that. Anytime Jeff Teague, this dude was at 7.5K at one point in the season. He's down to 5.9. I can take advantage of that. Tim Hardaway Jr., man, I think he plays well. Shooting guards destroy the Charlotte Hornets. 5.8K, very solid price on him. I can take advantage of Tim Hardaway tomorrow. Aaron Gordon at 5.7. Not a player that I particularly like. Evan Fournier at 5.6. I kind of do like that. I don't need Frank Kaminsky tomorrow at 5.5. The price is still good on him, but I need to see. He needs to be the first guy off of the bench. Like, stop with the Jeremy Lamb and the Marco Belinelli. If he's the first guy off of the bench, I'll take him. I'll take him. Sweet Lou Williams at 5.5. I definitely think we can take advantage of that. He didn't have a great game out against him last time. think he's going to want to play better. Jameer Nelson was a very solid play against them the other night at 5.5K. I don't want to test Patrick Beverly at home, so I don't think I'll be going there. Clint Capella, nice. 5.4, yes. Give me some of that. Not on Trevor Ariza, not on Miles Turner as well. I will not roster a center against Rudy Gobert. That's just pointless to do that. TJ McConnell at 5.2, not a play that I really like at all tomorrow. MKG is in play at 5.1. Cody Zeller. It says the 8th ranked DVP, but the dude can run, man. And I really think he can make it hard for Dwight Howard. Maybe get him some early foul trouble, something like that. And plus, you're not going to see Paul Millsap. So that takes away another rebounder from the Atlanta Hawks. I think Cody Zeller is in line for a solid game at 5.1K. I do like Rashawn Holmes at 5.1. Probably won't see your boy tomorrow. Probably won't see dang, how the fuck did I? The dude is so bad, I forgot his name. He only scored 4 points today. Jahlil Okafor. You probably won't see Jahlil Okafor, so that's going to be more minutes for Rashawn Holmes. Pat Bev at 5.1. I think he is definitely rosterable. He fouled out in the last game, left a sour taste in his mouth. I think he's going to want to come out and play better. Marcin Gortat, maybe that's how we can attack the Boston Celtics rebounding the ball at 5K. I definitely want a piece of that. Enes Kanter at 5K, not a player that I particularly like. Steven Adams, either. We know the Golden State Warriors can take these guys off of the floor with the quickness. Ersan Ilyasova at 5K. Price is up on him just a little bit. And, if you don't want to attack the Atlanta Hawks with Dwight Howard, you wanted maybe a cheaper option, you can do that with Ersan Ilyasova. Jahlil Okafor, we just talked about him. He is questionable with his sorry ass. Joe Ingles at 5K. The price is up on him a little bit. Joe Ingles at 3.9 is great. Joe Ingles at 4.4 is okay. Joe Ingles at 5K could be fatal. Shooting guards do play well against the Indiana Pacers, but that's a solid. I mean, you're looking for 30 from Joe to make that 6x value on DraftKings. So Derek Favors is questionable. If that happens, Derek Favors plays, then you got to take a little bit from these Utah guys. Eric Gordon, 4.9. Not a player I'm particularly interested in. I kind of like Jamal Murray at 4.8. Like that price on him. No Courtney Lee for me. Jeremy Lamb is finally being priced back down, 4.7. Not bad. Andre Iguodala is a player that I do like at 4.6. Kent Bazemore is out, so that means we're probably going to see more Thabo Sefolosha, a little more Tim Hardaway Jr. I can definitely get a piece of that. Rodney Hood, just don't play Rodney. 4.6, just don't play. Bojan, yes, give me some of that Bojan at 4.5. I like that. Terrence Ross is still priced down to 4.5. Not a big fan of him. Big Matt Biombo is a no for me. Kenneth Reed could be a solid play, man, but you're going to get those other guys back. So you're going to temper your expectations if you're spending up 4.5 for Kenneth Reed. Juancho probably won't get to start if we have Wilson Chandler and Gallinari coming back. JJ Redick is still priced down. You can destroy the Knicks at shooting guard position. I kind of like JJ Redick at 4.5K. Taj Gibson does spark my interest because he could be the only big on the floor in some spots. Because they could take Steven Adams and Kanter just completely off of the floor and run a lot of Taj Gibson. I can see that happening tomorrow at 4.4K. I do like that. No Ryan Anderson for me. Kyle O'Quinn at 4.4. They might need him to match up with guys like Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan if Kristaps is out, so he does deserve a look. Matt Barnes, I just like Matt Barnes, 4.3. I like that play tomorrow. Lance Thomas is a no for me. Jason Smith, he's at 4.2. That's not too much. If for some reason we don't see Markieff tomorrow and we've got Jason Smith laying around at 4.2 against the Boston Celtics, that's not a bad play at all. I can get behind that. There'll be no Joe Johnson for me. Thaddeus Young down to 4.2. That's tempting because somebody on the Indiana side has to rebound the basketball. And while Miles Turner has his hands full with Rudy Gobert, I think Thaddeus Young could sneak in and make value at about 26 DraftKings points. That's very possible. Jaja at 4.1, not a player that I'm particularly interested in. Neither is Brandon Jennings or Kelly Olynyk. Andre Roberson, yes, at 4K. I kind of like that. No Nene for me at 4K. I just don't like the spot that he's in. Amir Johnson, 3.9. He is definitely playable if he does get to start again. Maurice Space is a no for me. Thabo, yes. Give me some of that Thabo at 3.9, baby. If Thabo is starting, I love him in that spot. You can stack the shit out of the Atlanta or the Charlotte side. The cheaper stack would be Atlanta. But you can stack either one of those. Get you a nice Westbrook one-off or Harden one-off. Stack some of the cheaper guys on the Atlanta game. that could be a really nice recipe for success on today's slate. Jaylen Brown down to 3.8, not a play that I really like. Cabarrot, man, I'm gonna give this guy a shot at 3.8. I kind of like the spot that he's in, and I don't like T.J. McConnell very much in this game, so I think maybe this guy could be worth it at 3.8. Maybe get your 6-6 value for the low. Justin Anderson is probably going to be out tomorrow. This is a back-to-back for them. He was out yesterday, so I probably don't see him playing tomorrow. The coach's son at 3.8 will probably get a fair amount of run in scrub love. I like that tomorrow. Shelvin Mack is questionable. Jamal Crawford is another one who's probably going to get some run in scrub love. This dude used to play for the Knicks, man. And if this game was in New York, I would lock in Jamal Crawford. He loves to go to MSG and wreck shop there. He used to play for the Knicks. But I think he still can have a decent game. Probably going to get some scrub love here as well. Terry Rozier, 3.6. Not again. I'm not going to chase that from last night. I'm good on that. Ian Mahimi deserves consideration of 3.5. Definitely. Marco Bellinelli, 3.5. Kind of, sort of. Torian Prince is a no for me. Let's go ahead and find a 3K play. Who is going to be tomorrow's 3K play of the day? Let's check it out. Who do we have here? Maybe some Gerald Green at 3K could be solid. Samaj Cristino, Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant. He's a guy that can run. Is gonna have to help out, man. These 3K guys, the Sabonis, Jeremy Grant, those guys can really help you at 3K, because you got to look at Cantor and or Adams being taken completely off of the floor as the Golden State Warriors running their small ball lineups. Who are they gonna get out there? They're gonna have Jeremy Grant, Domantas Sabonis, either one of them, and Taj Gibson. So those can be some really solid 3K plays. Really solid 3K plays those guys can be. So who else we have? Not much else, but let's go ahead. And now we're going to jump into the point totals. I'm going to roll through those fairly quickly just to give you an idea where you would like to place some of that DraftKings salary. So let's go ahead and jump into that. First game on the slate is the Atlanta Hawks and the Charlotte Hornets. This is a 204 point total. Now, I would imagine the point total would be just a little bit higher. I think both of these teams can get out in transition and run, score some solid points. The Charlotte Hornets are at home. They are also giving up 5.5 to the Atlanta Hawks that are missing Paul Millsap. He is not going to be playing tomorrow. A tweet came out earlier that said he was going to be out for at least 2 games, yesterday's game and today's game. We've also got Kent Bazemore going to be out. Mike Dunleavy is out. On the Charlotte Hornets side, you're going to see no Ramon Session, no Miles Plumlee, and no Johnny O'Brien. Just immediately, some of the guys that really jump off of the page for me on the Atlanta side is going to be Dwight Howard. Dennis Schroeder could have a solid game. He could definitely have a solid game. Because, I mean, it's not like, Kemba is some kind of world-beating defensive player. He could have a solid game. I don't have an issue with him at all. But I do like Talbot Cephalosha as well as Tim Hardaway off of the Atlanta bench. You might want to take a look at Torian Prince. He's been getting a fair amount of run lately. On the Charlotte Hornets side, Kemba, give me some of that Kemba, baby. He's too cheap. Kemba's too cheap. I love him. I love Kemba. I like him a lot. You got Nick Batum at 6.7. I like him as well. I'm going to be playing both of those guys in some spots tomorrow. I definitely think we can look to Michael Kidd-Gilchrist if we need to. And Cody Zeller can be a very solid play at 5.1K. I think I got a projection on him at about 27 DraftKings points. Really solid there. Next game we're going to be talking about is going to be the Utah Jazz going to Denver. Going to Indiana to take on the Pacers. This is a 192.5 point total, with the Jazz scoring an implied team total of 98 points, and you've got the Indiana Pacers scoring 95. 94 point. This is a low point total, baby. This is a low point total. And low point totals really scare people off. They really do. And I can be one of them. But the only guy that I kind of like in this game, you got to ask, are the point totals going to be low because, these are just 2 great defensive juggernauts? Or no, these are teams that can, shoot the ball pretty bad, especially Indiana Pacers, man. They're not one of the better, field goal percentage teams in the league. And I think that's going to draw a lot of Rudy Gobert rebounds. I like the spot that he's in at 7.2K. I think he can be a really solid either cash play or tournament play for you, no matter how you do it. Don't like too much on the Indiana Pacers side. The injuries you got, Derek Favors with the game time decision. Rodney Hood is a game time decision, as well as Shelvin Mack being a game time decision. So Joe Ingles could play. If he does at 5K, price up a little bit, does deserve consideration. Joe Johnson is a no for me. There's not enough upside in Joe Johnson at this point for me to roster him in the season. Thaddeus Young on the Indiana Pacers side, 4.2. He can definitely hit 25 DraftKings points, so that could be a solid play there. Don't like Paul George. Jeff Teague is a play, but I got to tell you, George Hill is somebody who I really like. The price is still down, 6K on him, returning to his old team. I think that could be a very solid play. That is a worthy revenge narrative there. Next game we'll be talking about is the Philadelphia 76ers going to Orlando to take on the Magic. This is a 211-point total. Very nice point total for this game, right? The Orlando Magic are giving up 5 points to the Philadelphia 76ers. So that means the Philadelphia 76ers are a road dog. And this has been a very solid team. They're very scrappy, man. And they're playing for respect. They really are. And I love to see young players play for their respect around the league. It takes a lot of grit to go out there knowing that you're probably going to be, counting lottery balls and draft lottery and still go out and play this well. So we've got Jahlil Okafor is a game time decision. Justin Anderson, Jarrett Bayless is out. Thiago Splitter, of course, is out, and Ben Simmons has been out for the entirety of the season. Dario Saric jumps out at me at 7.8, is priced up a little bit. Going to be matched up against Aaron Gordon, which is a winnable matchup for me. I kind of like him in that spot. We can also take a look at Timothy Cabarrot. I kind of like him. 3.8, very cheap. Guys going to be getting minutes. Rashawn Holmes, I kind of like him at 5.1. We can definitely go there. Not too much to like off of the bench, man. Just not too much to like off the bench. Sergio Rodriguez had a really good game out last time, but Orlando does restrict point guard, so I don't really want too much to do with that. Now, Elfrid Payton, the price is up 7.5K. He could go out and triple-double on these motherfuckers like it ain't nothing, or he can go out and have a really horrible game. That's just Elf. You gotta ask yourself, do you want to put Elf on the shelf or bring him down? That's up to you. I'm probably gonna leave Elf on the shelf tomorrow. I probably am. Nikola Vucevic, really solid play, 7.7K. The projection on him is about 43 DraftKings points. That is very doable. I kind of like him tomorrow. I kind of like him a lot, actually. Not much else I want to target on the Orlando side. Not even on Orlando bench. This game, this screams, grab a one-off as I'm rocking my Atlanta or Charlotte stack. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Washington Wizards going to Boston to take on the 76ers. Excuse me, damn. To take on the Celtics. What the fuck I'm thinking about? Now, there's not yet a point total or point spread yet for this game, simply because there's a few injury decisions that need to be made. We've got Markieff Morris as a game time decision, as well as Trey Burke, and we've got Isaiah Thomas, who is out in this game. Isaiah Thomas is going to be out in this game. Now, something could change throughout the day, so we need to stay close and pay attention. But as of right now, it says that Isaiah Thomas is out. That's the latest news that I've gotten. So let's look at John Wall at 9.6K. You're going to need damn near 60 DraftKings points for him to make value. It's doable. It's possible. And if Isaiah Thomas was playing, I would much rather that be the case if I want that much out of John Wall, because we know that Marcus Smart's a fairly decent defender, as well as Avery Bradley. I would look to Brad Beal at 7.6K, because I think, a lot of the defensive attention is going to shift over to John Wall. That would make it a lot easier for Bradley Beal to go ahead and knock down a few shots. I like him. I think Marcin Gortat is also a decent play. Well, this is the second-ranked DVP against the center spot. And, power forwards really eat against Boston. But he's just so cheap at 5K, man. I think he deserves consideration. But if Markieff Morris is playing, he's fine, he's good to go. I like him at 6.1. Even if we see Jason Smith at 4.2, he's fine, he's good, and Markieff is not going to be playing, I can go there. Because that's how we attack the Boston Celtics at the power forward position, not at the center position. So curb your enthusiasm about Marcin Gortat. On the Boston side, you know what? Al Horford, there's not too much else because the guys are priced up now. You look at Marcus Smart, 6.4K. That's a lot, man, for a dude that can go out and get you 18 DraftKings points. Avery Bradley, he's priced up. Didn't have a great game yesterday. So I don't know if I don't think I'm gonna be taking too many of those guys up on that. No, I'm good. Next game I'm gonna be talking about is going to be the Denver Nuggets going to Houston to take on the Rockets. This is not there's no point total yet for this game as well, because we've got those injuries on the Denver side. Wilson Chandler is a game time decision, as well as Danilo Gallinari. If those guys play, that makes this game a lot different. That means we can throw kind of what we saw from the last matchup out the window. Don't think that we're going to have to see, Jokic do that much defending in the low post. Think they can leave that to those other guys and keep him on the floor while limiting his fouls and foul trouble. So at 10.2K, if we do see Wilson Chandler and Gallinari back, those are more guys for him to pass to. The more the more finishers that are surrounding Nikola Jokic, the better he is to roster. So the only way I am playing Jokic tomorrow is if he's got those guys back in the fold. Give me one of them. Give me either Wilson Chandler or Gallinari, and I will love some Nikola Jokic tomorrow because he is just that good of a passing big man at the top of the elbow. So that's a direction that I will be going if I know that either one of those guys, Wilson Chandler or Danilo Gallinari, are going to be playing. Now, if Gallinari is playing, I'm going to play. They don't really care too much about Wilson Chandler, but they really care about Gallinari. And if he plays, he's good to go. He does fairly decent after the games he has injury. They let him get full rest. Jameer Nelson is going against the 25th ranked DVP at the point guard position, even though it has Patrick Beverley. I don't want that. I'm good. He roasted him last time, made him foul out and everything. And I think Patrick Beverley's going to remember that, play more heady, sound, solid defense. And I'd rather have Patrick Beverley at 5.1 than to get Jameer Nelson at 5.5. That's just me. That's just where I'm at with it. And I think Sweet Lou off of the bench can be a solid play at 5.5. The price is kind of back to where it should be on him. I love James Harden. He's in line for another 70-point game. This is probably going to be one of the highest or the highest point total on the slate. Maybe that or Golden State, Oklahoma City, because that's 221. This one could eclipse 230 again. It was 240 last time out. I will have some James Harden. I will have some exposure to the Denver guys. This is probably going to be a really good game to target if you wanted to, maximize on, adding the point totals to your research and your repertoire. Next game we're talking about is the Golden State Warriors going to Oklahoma City to take on the Thunder. This is a 221-point total, with the Oklahoma City Thunder receiving 2 points from the Golden State Warriors. So Oklahoma City is a home dog. You know how I feel about home dogs. I love the home dog. I have no issue rostering the home dog. The only guy that's going to be out for the Golden State Warriors is Kevin Durant. They're going to be rostering all of the other players. Nobody's out from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Right at the top, Russell Westbrook is going to score 75 points. I'm just going to tell you that. Russell Westbrook is going to score 75 points tomorrow, at least. He's going to go fucking nuts. They're at home. Like, he hates them. They hate him. The feeling is mutual. He's going to fucking ball out. And you got to get some of them somewhere. I'm not saying, you got to be 100% Westbrook because there's just not that many combinations. You know what I mean? Like, there's just, and of course, nobody's a fucking lock. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's a lock. But, Harden and Russell Westbrook tomorrow. If the worst thing for this slate would be if all kinds of crazy value starts opening up and everybody thinks that they can get Russell Westbrook and Harden in their lineups together. That's going to make it better for the 150 lineup guys. I hope nobody else get hurt. Hope everybody else stays the same. So, motherfucker, you got to choose. Either Russell Westbrook or Harden. Not both. That's where I'm at. Vic Oladipo is priced up at 6.4. We talked about that. Don't really have an interest in him. Andre Roberson is a player that I kind of like at 4K. I think he can be solid. Taj Gibson at 4.4. Maybe a little bit of the 3K scrub love for a guy like Jeremy Grant or Domantas Sabonis, who hasn't been starting since Taj Gibson really stepped up. Not too much else I like on Oklahoma City side. As far as the Golden State Warriors go, I think Steph Curry is definitely in play, man. 9.4K, marquee matchup. This game should be Is this game nationally televised? This motherfucker better be nationally televised. This game better be on TV. If this game is on TV, something's wrong. And, well, not that because, you're not seeing Kevin Durant, so it doesn't mean as much. But this game still has got to be televised. But yes, this is the 8 o'clock game, 8 o'clock Eastern on TNT. I will be watching this front and center. So he's going to smash. Westbrook is going to fucking smash tomorrow. No doubt in my mind. I do like Draymond Green at 7.9. The price is down just a touch from where it was the other night. Klay Thompson is probably the guy that I do like the least in this matchup because he's going to be seeing Vic Oladipo. So I probably won't be fucking with too much of him. I think we can look to Matt Barnes. Probably going to see some meaningful minutes at 4.3 off of the bench. And Andre Iguodala probably will be seeing some meaningful minutes off of the bench. The very last game on the slate, the late night hammer game. And what a shitty late night hammer game. It is my New York Knicks My New York Knicks matched up against the LA Clippers, and it doesn't say there's a point total here, but I do have a point total on this game. It is a 215.5 point total, with the New York Knicks receiving. Well, there's no spread on it. There's a total, but there's no spread. There's a total, but it's no spread. The over under is 215. So of course, just came out. But the projected score is 102.3 for the Knicks and is 113.3 for the LA Clippers. Now, Kristaps, game time decision. Diamond Stone is a game time decision on the LA Clippers side. If Kristaps don't play, give me some Melo. Give me some Derrick Rose. I think they're going to have to play well in order to keep this game competitive in the least. I think Kyle Quinn is somebody we can look to. Is probably going to be seeing some meaningful minutes matching up with the LA Clipper bigs. Hernan Gomez, maybe at 6.2, but I'd rather have Kyle Quinn. He's priced down, way down from Hernan Gomez. Of course, on the Clipper side, Blake is what I really like. I really like Blake, and I'm just so hurt by what Chris Paul has done to me recently. I don't think I can bring myself to roster him on a night like that. And he's probably going to go out and score 80 fucking points because I'm not going to roster him. But so I probably have one share of fucking Chris Paul. He should be dead. If this dude wasn't one of the greatest point guards in history, he would be so dead to the DFS Jerusalem, bro. He would be so dead. But I may take a shot on him just because he does have that upside, man. The dude can go off at a moment's notice. But I just don't initially like him very much. I just really don't. And, what are they playing for? Are they playing for playoff positioning? Do they think they can just go out and beat the Knicks without really trying? Because that's definitely a possibility. The Knicks suck. So I don't know how much I want to, invest in the game that could very well be a blowout. So that's something that we have to pay attention to. JJ Redick at 4.5 is a play that I do kind of like there. Maybe some Jamal Crawford and the coach's son at 3.8. So now that we've recapped last night's games, went over the feature 4 players of the night, did a little bit of slate breaking, and tomorrow we will be in the midday mix. That's where we will do our core 4 roster building. Every day I try to get in there, hop into the midday mix with the family, all the people that support the DFS Sweatshop. I try to jump in there with them and actually break down the slate. If you would like to be a part of that, it is very simple. Join the DFS Sweatshop. Go to the website at www.dfssweatshop.com. That is where you receive all of the perks and the wonderful things that come with being a family member. If you want to support the show in another way, you can. Thank you for watching the show. That is the purest form of support on YouTube. Also, you can go copy some DFS Sweatshop swag, man. Go get it. Go get it. It's there for you. There's a box over here. It says support the show. Click the box. Let it take you where it has to take you to support the show. I am your DFS Jerusalem. You can follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Signing off for you, imploring you to go out, start your week off right, get in those turbos, get in those later slates, run on over to Yahoo, play a little bit over there. They've got late swap over there. And on DraftKings, understand that if you're playing on DraftKings, you're just gonna have to deal with the injury stuff to the rest of the season. But there is a place you can go play. Go play on Yahoo, play on DraftKings, play on FanDuel, just play somewhere. And what you do, go out, you keep it 300.